Oh, hello. My name's Matthew Leffler, the armchair attorney. I'm just reading up a little bit on federal civil procedure. A little bit of light reading to get the day started off right. I got a question for you. What can Convoy teach us about federal civil procedure? Oh, that's right. We're taking contemporaneous stories that are happening right now in the law and in the news, and we're telling you about a legal topic that hopefully, when this is all said and done, you're going to understand it in a way that you probably didn't before. This is all about a thing called federal interpleader. Oh, yeah. What is federal interpleader, you ask? Well, that's the point of today's little show. Here's what it means. Federal interpleader is a civil procedure device that allows a plaintiff or defendant to initiate a lawsuit in order to compel two or more parties to litigate a dispute. That sounds interesting. Tell me more. Well, an interpleader action originates when a plaintiff that holds property on behalf of another but does not know whom the property should be transferred. That's an interesting question. Here's the facts. There was a freight broker who's not bankrupt yet. I have some ideas why. But they were moving freight for a big American retailer, or a retailer that's global, but they have operations in the United States. Company's called IKEA. And IKEA has a question. And their question is, we have, $519,254.44. Let me repeat that for you. $519,254.44. That's what IKEA has. And IKEA wants to do something with that money, presumably pay the motor carriers that moved freight for them in that amount. Convoy was the broker. This is the lawsuit. Filed on January 2nd, 2024, like a couple days ago, IKEA put together this complaint. And in this complaint, what IKEA is asking is they're saying, court, please help me. We have $519,254.44, and we don't know where it needs to go. So this suit was filed in the Northern District of Illinois. This is a district court that's underneath the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals. And here's what it's all about. Let's break into the lawsuit, and hopefully this will help you understand how interpleader works, and how I've also titled this little brief snippet, What Happens When a Good Broker Goes Bad? Let's get into it. Now, as you can see, the first thing you have to do is name who you are. The plaintiff here is IKEA Supply AG. They're the plaintiff. They're the ones who brought this lawsuit against, oh my goodness, that's a lot of names. Let's just keep scrolling. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of trucking companies. I see some factoring companies in there too. Wow. It's still going. Okay. Is that it? No, of course not. 2 pages to get all of the people named. Here's what's happening. I suspect that IKEA is getting invoices and emails and calls saying, hey, we haven't been paid yet for the stuff that we've moved. And IKEA has looked and said, well, it appears that we have to pay somebody $519,254.44. So how does this work out? The first thing in this 25-page complaint that was filed on January 2nd of 2024 is to discuss who the parties are. This is a complaint in interpleader. What IKEA has done is given to the court, $519,254.44. And they're asking the court to help them figure out how they resolve the claim. Interesting. IKEA is organized under the laws of Switzerland, and that's their address. Exciting. We're not going to go to each and every party because there's a lot. But the first group of pages up to page 13, and we're just going to scroll through this. We got to keep scrolling. This is all of the people who IKEA believes has a right to some portion of that $519,254.54. that they think is owed. We'll keep on scrolling. We're at page 5 now. Got about, I don't know, a little bit more to go. Let's keep going. Yep, still going, still going. And we'll talk about all these people in a moment, but this is just how you do a complaint is you say who the company is, where they're organized, where their operations located, at the nexus of their headquarters, and you just get all these people. Some adult individuals that are named in here, all sorts of people. So these companies are all being notified. They're getting copies of this complaint, and they're being told you're going to have to play in the Northern District of Illinois if you hope to get paid from this, again, $519,254.44. We're almost there, folks. 10, 11, 12, and 13. We've done it. That is all the parties. The first 60 paragraphs are now complete. We talk about jurisdiction. This is what I was talking about with interpleader. There is actually a statute, 28 USC section 1335, that gives you the way in which you bring an interpleader. Because again, IKEA knows these people are owed a portion of this money, but they're not in the position now to say, do we give it to Convoy? Do we give it to Hercules or American Transporters? Like, we would like to have the court help us understand what happens with that $519,254.44 amount of interpleaded funds. It's over $500. We got to figure it out. Why do we choose venue in the Northern District of Illinois? Well, they explain it here. This is why they think this is the best place. And they give specific itineraries of some of these companies that are located in Illinois or formed in Illinois. Illinois seems to be a pretty great place, so that's where we're doing the deal. What is the property? Oh, that's the money. That's the money part. That's the $519,254.44. That's the money that is being contested. That is the property. So when people often ask me, say, Matt, what happens if a broker goes bankrupt? How do I get my money? This is one of the many, many, many ways you can try to recover funds. The shipper, in this case, IKEA, is like, I'm tired of getting all these invoices. I'm tired of getting all of these bills. I want to get this resolved in a way that is open to everyone to see. It's publicly available. We will resolve this. And that's what's happening. The next section here is the facts. This goes from pages 15 to page 20. The facts really kind of establish what the relationship was between IKEA and Convoy, and the fact that IKEA was not going to have to pay any of these motor carriers themselves. That's all part of the contract. There's a contract that's also talked about between Convoy and each and every one of these different motor carriers, or in some cases factoring companies or people that get assignments to these things. And what they basically outline is how this whole thing went bananas. So this is all the story of what got us to where we are currently. These are the transportation agreement. These are all exhibits in this thing. It's important to note for you, dear viewer, that if you ever want to file a lawsuit and it has to do with a contract, you have to attach the contract. All these contracts are available for your review. If you have a Pacer account, or if you call your lawyer or something, they define some terms. Who's a shipper? That's IKEA in this case. And then these are all of the various entities. Again, the carrier defendants that believe they're owed money from Convoy, and Convoy simply hasn't paid. All of these companies are owed money from Convoy. And again, it's strange that they're not in bankruptcy yet, but we'll see that probably after January 30th, if you've been following my previous iteration of this little live stream. So we go through, these are assignments, assignee. Let me explain this really briefly. Sometimes if you're a motor carrier and you're like, man, I just want to get something, you may take the claim that you're actually owed and sell it to somebody else. If you sell that claim, you assign it to them. They take the right to this. So there are individuals here that IKEA believes are owed money from motor carriers that had not been paid yet. We'll get past page 18. We'll get past page 19. This is all this person's assignee. That's Trans Am Financial. I'm assuming it's a factoring company. There's others. I have no idea. But this is all the nature of when good brokers go bad. It is chaotic. It is a lot of litigation, and we are just getting started, this being filed on January 2nd, 2024. Here are the claims. Oh, dear viewer, this is the itemized list. I will put this probably in the notes of whatever this thing gets posted to, if you're curious, of the companies that are being part of this interpleader. Again, IKEA says, I know I owe somebody $519,254.44. I know this. I just don't know who should get what, given the facts that we're involved with. And here they are. These are all the companies. I will brief. Should I read them? Sure. Convoy, Hercules Capital, American Transporters, Aram Trucking, Assurance Trucking, Bath Transportation, Boren Trucking, Seahick Express, Conley Trucking, Delmore Transport, DLB Management, Dominican Trucking, Eagle Radovish, Eagle Speedline, Enomid Trucking, Everett Transportation, Family First Enterprises, Five Yans, FJ Trucking Services, Gilroy Williams Vasquez, Godet Global, Heightened Sense Transport, J. Zunga Trucking, Josh & Sons Express, M&A Drummer, Maintain Logistics Group, McBarnes American Logistics, Ohio Global Transportation, Providence Singh, Peter Transport Cargo, Raman Nori, Ramos Brothers Transport, Ryco Transport, RMM Trucking, Schaefer Logistics. It goes on. Sekinder S. Gill Corp, Somkin Transport, Suit and Tie Incorporated, Sukhraja Singh Grewal, doing business as KJR Transit, TND Transportation, TG Logistics, Top Gear Transport, Turbo Freight, ZBT Logistics, Alexander Winton and Associates, Apex Capital Corp, Basic Block, Carrier Net Group Financial, CD Consortium Corporation, Compass Funding Solutions, Eagle Business Credit, Finger Lakes Logistics, Love's Solutions, Operation Finance, QP Capital, RTS Financial Services, Smart Trucker LLC, Trans Am Financial Services, and Transportation Finance Corporation. These are the claimants. These are the people who may have a right to that $519,254.44. That's it. Now the interpleader. We have taken 22 pages to get here, and here we are. IKEA incorporates by reference the foregoing paragraphs as though they were set forth at length herein. All that means is numbers 1 through 102 are in part of that, count 1. So they're just saying, take all of that, what we already said, assume we've said that again, and here it is. They know IKEA is unsure which claimant is entitled to the property or to portions of the property. They have a reasonable fear of multiple liability because of these adverse claims. Example, if IKEA says, we paid the broker, the motor carriers are not going to be like, oh, well, we'll just go call Convoy. They're going to say, Convoy is not going to pay us. We think you should pay us. This is why IKEA has tendered for deposit with the court the sum of $519,254.54. This is what happens. The prayer, the ask. What does IKEA really want to have happen? They want that property to be distributed. The shipper wants to pay the motor carriers. The shipper wants everybody to be made whole. But the shipper is not in the business of paying individual motor carriers for all of the stuff that they do. And then you get the lawyers who are handling this. Clark Hill's a fantastic law firm. I have some friends over there, so I hope this action is something interesting. Let's jump back. We'll stop sharing this now. That part's over. We're at 14 minutes. 14 minutes to help you understand federal interpleader. Convoy is not in bankruptcy, folks. They're sitting around waiting for something. I don't know what it is, but this is what happens in certain cases when a motor carrier isn't being paid and the broker's gone bad. IKEA had to make a massive 25-page complaint of interpleader. Again, interpleader is a civil procedure device that allows plaintiffs or a defendant to initiate a lawsuit in order to compel two or more parties to litigate a dispute. The reality is the interpleader action originates when the plaintiff holds the property. IKEA's got the money on behalf of another, but does not know to whom the property should be transferred. This is what it's all about. That is, in a nutshell, a little bit of federal civil procedure. We will see a ton of activity in this lawsuit with the dozens and dozens and dozens of named defendants. The only way this thing stops, at least for Convoy, is to go to bankruptcy. Whether they file that now or later, we'll find out. But this is certainly an interesting case that we all should be following, if only to understand what happens when a good broker goes bad. Today's broadcast is brought to you by F3 Memes. F3 Memes, my golden ticket to F3 without having to pay for a ticket. I am so excited to have a wonderful sponsor like F3 Memes. I hope you enjoy it. I hope this was informational, that you could integrate and digest, and hopefully have a good time with it. Look, law is interesting, but not to everybody. But sometimes when the law touches a thing that you are passionate about, like logistics and supply chain, it gives you a chance to open your horizons and learn something new. So, hopefully, at the end of this whole little thing, you have a better understanding of federal civil procedure, most importantly, about federal interpleader law. How do you distribute a bunch of money if you don't know who it's supposed to go to? That's it. We're done. I have nothing else to say on the matter until I have more to say on the matter. I hope this was helpful and useful, and I'm done now. It was a great time. Have a great day. I got things to do. Take care. And then I hit the button and it just stops. That's what happens next, of course. See you later.